So you've had a spiritual awakening and your whole world seems like it's upside down and nothing seems right. Let's go over what you can expect and how you can navigate this spiritual awakening so that you can step into your biggest, best, and brightest path. My name is Brian. I'm a modern day mystic. And what does that mean? That means that I apply spiritual concepts to living in this 3D reality that we have to exist in so that we can function. And today we're going to talk about navigating your spiritual awakening so that you can ultimately live your best life. So let's jump right into it. So what is a spiritual awakening? It's a rising of consciousness that's happening all across Earth at this given time. It's been happening for a while. And if you're watching this video, chances are you are going through a spiritual awakening yourself and wondering what to do. Everything is fine. It's an energetic process that is an acceleration of energy, frequency, and vibration for our consciousness to raise from a 3-dimensional consciousness to a 5-dimensional consciousness. Once the toothpaste is out of the tube, you can't turn back. So you might as well enjoy the ride. Why is this happening right now? We have been entering the age of Aquarius for quite some time. We were in the age of Pisces, where Jesus Christ was the avatar who reigned over Earth, and you can see it with all of the Abrahamic religions. Now, we've been leaving the age of Pisces and entering the age of Aquarius. The ascended master Saint Germain is the avatar that will lead, and Saint Germain is the ruler and the bringer of the violet flame. The violet flame is a divine feminine energy, and it is a time where we are gaining more wisdom and enlightenment and moving towards more of those feminine energies like intuition and love. This is a mass awakening that's happening all across Earth. It's not just happening in North America. It's not a new age movement. This is something that's happening in every country all across the world to people that are just like you. Your soul chose to incarnate at this point in time so that you could be a part of this special time in history when we're moving into the age of Aquarius and helping to raise the consciousness across the entire Earth. Let's talk about the stages of spiritual awakening. There are many different stages, and they can all last various different times. It can be a short period of time. It can be a long period of time. There are people that have had multiple spiritual awakenings that started as far back as the 70s. There are people that are 1 year in. There are people that are 10 years in. And wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be at this particular time. In the early stages, you have this hope for meaning. There's some sort of catalyst for change. Get these strange feelings and a spiritual pull that makes you want to understand what's happening. In the middle stages, it gets a little bit lonely. You feel like you might be on your own, but you're not. You get this big pull into nature to want to ground, be amongst the trees, amongst the plants, amongst the animals, and that brings you peace. Your spidey sense starts tingling. Your intuition really starts to develop, and you start to understand things that it seems like nobody else is understanding. And you wonder, have I gone crazy? And the answer is no, you haven't gone crazy. It's just that you're breaking out of the crazy and finding your way into a new realm of consciousness. And as you approach the latter stages, you start to have these really vivid dreams. They might seem prophetic in nature, and you have this call to work in service to humanity. So no longer do you feel like money is what drives you. You just want to help people, and you want to find a way to make that into something that will bear fruit for you so that you can live a much more fulfilled life. And then there's the let go, the surrender. Ultimately, you are going to surrender to the idea that there is something bigger than you that is in control and has been in control. And once you do that, it really opens the door to one more monumental shift where you end up in the 5-dimensional stage of consciousness, still existing in this 3D Earth. And there is no rushing the process. Every single piece of this journey is sacred in nature. So as you go through it, enjoy it, even though it might not seem enjoyable at the time for some of these parts. Ultimately, you'll look back and say, this was really great. Now, in the early stages, this is the call and the catalyst for change. So you start looking for this hope for meaning, wondering, is there something more? Why am I here? And we've all had these thoughts, but now it really seems to kick in that you want to know what's happening. What are you supposed to be doing? There has to be more to life than this. And that's the very first initial stage. And then there's some sort of catalyst that happens. This could be a breakup. It could be a financial loss. It could be an accident of some sort. But there's some big monumental thing that says, I no longer want to live the way that I was living. And again, can't squeeze the toothpaste back into the tube. Once it's out, there's no turning back. You might have this strange feeling that this reality is not exactly what it seems. As you're watching TV, you see the news, everybody seems like they might be a paid actor. These patterns and these narratives that are being put out there, they really just don't seem to make sense anymore. Even if they made sense previously, now you view them and say, this just can't be real. This must be a joke. And the next part is having this magnetic pull towards spirituality. And this doesn't matter if you were an atheist, if you were agnostic, if you were Jewish, if you were Christian, if you were Muslim, if you were Buddhist. You start to say, I feel like there's something more. There is a God, there is a source, there is a spirit. There must be more than what I've been taught. And you start to really explore those concepts. So if you're in that stage, keep going. You start looking at different videos on YouTube, listening to podcasts about potential alternative realities, consuming books about the nature of reality. Those are all things that happen in this magnetism era of your spiritual awakening. In these middle stages, there's a lot more seeking, a lot more questioning of what's happening. And along with that questioning comes loneliness and reclusiveness. Now, the old relationships that you have, whether it's with siblings or friends, they just no longer seem to resonate with you. And you prefer going back to your books, your learnings to start understanding what's happening. And that can be a lonely, lonely path, but you're still doing a great job. Stay on that path. And the next part of your awakening is this really strange pull towards nature. Earth has a natural resonance at 7.83 hertz. And you find that when you're in nature and touching the ground, that you really feel balanced and at peace. This is an important stage because you start to see everything that's all around you and really have an appreciation towards it. Nature becomes almost like your sanctuary, your place of peace. Then you question your ego, saying, what am I? Who am I? What have I been doing? You can look back and say, I used to be so involved in money. I used to love going to the bars. I used to love talking about other people and wondering why it just doesn't feel right anymore. Moving right along, the spidey sense, your intuition, your sixth sense really starts to kick in. You get a heightened intuition, and these natural psychic abilities that all humans have really start to show. You can start seeing what's going to happen even a second or two before anything happens. You start to read energy. You can read people's emotions and really understand what they're thinking before the words come out. You know something's going to happen way before it does. Amongst your spiritual journey, these are all great things that have been happening in these middle stages and the earlier stages, but then you get to what feels like a pinnacle, feels like you've plateaued. There's nothing else that you can do. You stall out, and this is perfectly normal. What you should do in this stage is just rest, relax, stay on your spiritual practices, have faith that what you're doing makes sense, and go back and watch more YouTube videos, consume more podcasts, consume more books, and continue your learning and wait. Because ultimately, when you're ready, you'll have a mentor or a teacher, and they will appear and show you the next way that you can go. They'll light the path for you to walk. You might feel crazy. You might feel delusional. And that's only because the people that you're around and the people that are still in this matrix of reality are still under the hypnosis. But you're not crazy. You're not delusional. This is totally normal. It's a part of your awakening, and you should continue on your path. Don't fret. There are other people that are just like you, and they do not belong in the loony bin. You're perfectly fine. Every one of these stages challenges you so that you can work through your emotions and continue to grow. Now, during the ascension process and their spiritual awakening, you'll experience some physical, emotional, and spiritual things. On the physical side, you might have some fatigue and some brain fog. You might feel a bit tired. You might have trouble remembering things, but don't stress. This is part of your brain and your body adjusting to this new ascension process. You might be waking up early, might have a difficult time staying asleep, might feel tired throughout the day. Your body, again, is adjusting, and you are getting ready for your ascension process. So don't worry about it. This will pass. Your intuition will really start to kick in. You might have some heightened senses. And this is not just your intuition. These are things like hearing, your sight might change, your touch, many things about your senses, your taste might change. These are things that are normal, and you might experience them, you might not. But if you are, just know that it's your body telling you that you need to be in a different environment or eating potentially different foods. The energy sensitivity comes along with those heightened senses. So if you're in an environment that's really loud, you might find that it's ultra loud and you want to find your way back to a place of peace. If you're in an area that has a lot of people, you might need to back away, do a little bit of energy work to get back grounded with earth. And that's normal. And your body might just ache a little bit more. You might find that you're more prone to feeling more of those bumps and bruises. And again, these are all part of the ascension process and some of the symptoms. So don't stress. They're all temporary. And as your body adjusts, so will everything else. On the emotional side, you might be going through some emotional waves. The emotional waves could be depression or anxiety, and those are meant to help you to work through those emotions and embody those emotions. So if you're feeling stressed, depressed, full of anxiety, your job is to really understand why you're feeling that way. Try to get to the root of the situation, the root of the problem, and then work through it. And if you're feeling disconnected, that's totally normal. Not many people get to go through this process of awakening. And since you're one of the lucky ones and consider yourself lucky, you just have to find ways to embody that disconnection and say, it's okay. It's all right to feel isolated, and it is part of that process. Because you're going through that process, it's going to affect your relationships, whether it's parents, siblings, or friends. They're all going to wonder what's happening to you. Why do you no longer want to hang out with them? Why do you no longer have the same views as them? And that too is just a temporary thing that will pass, because you're supposed to step into your own whole self and learn what you really want, not what the programmed ideas of what you should be thinking. And that comes with loneliness. But don't worry, that loneliness can lead you to other people who are going through this process and have gone through this process so that you can feel like you're much more connected, but on a soul level. Some spiritual things that will happen is you'll start getting vivid dreams. These could be prophetic dreams. They could be dreams of people, of beings. Your body is staying here while your mind is traveling to the astral realm with your soul. And you're going there to resolve problems and help to give you guidance so that you can wake up in the morning be healed and ready to attack the day. Synchronicities will start popping up everywhere. And a synchronicity could be seeing 1111, 888, 777, seeing the number 33 often, and finding things in nature like seeing birds, butterflies, dragonflies. They all might seem like they're attuned to you, and they are all messages from your higher self or from source to try to let you know that you are on the right path. Stay on the path. Look for those synchronicities. And your inherent psychic abilities will start to develop. Every time that you work through your emotions and embody your emotions, you start to unlock psychic abilities. This could be claircognizance, clairvoyance, telepathy. You'll start to notice these things that are all available to you once you stay present in the moment and you're able to embody those emotions and step into your whole self. And you'll continue to question reality, seeing things that are patterns amongst people, the news, sports, and you'll say, what is this really for? Are they hypnotizing us? And the answer is yes. You have your own free will and sovereignty. And the more that you can see the patterns and see what's blocking you, you can see that there is a multitude of different realities, with the major reality being one that is meant to keep you distracted. And you'll want to continue to seek spiritual wisdom, learning from either a mentor, finding groups, finding more information so that you can deepen your spiritual awareness. Everything is normal and it is temporary. Just breathe through it. Now, what can you do to manage some of these symptoms? Grounding, spend time in nature, put your feet in the grass, do deep breaths. One of the main things you can do in your meditative practice is visualize roots coming out of your feet, going deep into the earth, feeling connected to the earth. Self-care essentials. You have to take care of yourself. Try to get to sleep at a normal time. Have no devices, no more doom scrolling before you go to bed. At least have an hour before you go to bed of no screen time so you can relax. Drink a lot of water. Chances are you're already dehydrated. Try to double, triple your water intake, and that will make you feel much more grounded. Eat nourishing foods. Stay away from fried foods. Stay away from heavy foods. If your stomach is upset, your body is going to tell you what you're eating, and how it's not agreeing with you is going to push you more towards foods that are beneficial for your soul. Try to stay off alcohol as much as possible, high sugars, and any sort of drugs that will change your vision. You don't need anything to accelerate this process. Everything that you have is within yourself, and you don't need help from any alternative substances or toxins. Make sure you're doing daily meditation. It's hard in the beginning, but at the same time, it's a skill that takes practice. Dedicating even 10, 15 minutes a day, every single day, every single morning will help keep you grounded and help manage some of these symptoms. Journaling, writing down your experiences, understanding the synchronicities that you're seeing. You'll start to see patterns as well, and that will help for you to stay calm and understand that there are other people that are going through this, and you can share some of those experiences and see how much progress you've made over your spiritual awakening. Work with crystals, work with gems, work with stones. They have a natural resonance as well. And depending on the type of stones you carry, it can keep you connected. Find a like-minded community. There's plenty of people going through their own spiritual awakening and have already done it. And you can find those people. They are not going to seek you. You must seek them. But once you find them, they will welcome you with open arms. Share your experiences. Go back to that journal and you can say, hey, did anybody notice this sacred geometry? I saw this symbol in meditation. How many synchronicities are you seeing per day? And you'll see that you're not alone. Look for a mentor. Anybody who has already gone through their experience is in service to others already. So they will happily guide you. Sometimes you have to pay for spiritual guidance, but most of it is free. If you want to find somebody who will help you, there is always a teacher for you. You just have to be ready as the student. And set energetic boundaries. Make sure the people that you see that are not on a spiritual awakening are accepting of your new value system. If it's talking about other people, if it's watching the news, you can just say, hey, I no longer want to participate in that. It doesn't make me feel good. So please respect my boundaries. It's really tough, but it will really help you to navigate this experience. And just remember, you're not broken. You're not delusional. You're actually breaking open. Your soul was called here at this time to awaken so that you could help be in service of humanity and raise the consciousness of Earth. Now, after you've awakened, you're going to want to be in service to others. It's just part of the awakening process. You no longer want to be in service to yourself. Money will have a different store of value for you. And if you want to help others, your pain becomes your purpose. As you heal, you will be inspirational to others, and they will want to see that a person that looks just like you and sounds just like you can get through it so they can do. You're actually a survivor, and people love a good survivor story. Healing work is a natural place that someone who's gone through an awakening ends up. You're going to find you resonate with things like tarot, sound healing, maybe Reiki, maybe crystals, and there will be many people looking for guidance that resonate with that too. So it opens the door for you to be a leader within one of those particular modalities. Wounded healers heal the world. When you align yourself with your authentic life, you'll feel great. That means speaking your truth, living with purpose, and living from your soul. Staying heart-centered, in service to others, will help you no matter what. Even if you decide to not go into a healing practice, you can still be that person amongst your regular 3D Earth as long as it continues to align with what your overall purpose is. And this was your soul mission. So each one of us has our own individual soul contract and soul mission. You'll know yours as you continue down the path, and that will lead you to where you need to go. Don't rush it. It's all part of the process, but you are here to help others and to guide our evolution and to help raise the consciousness of Earth. Now, if you are interested in learning more about spiritual awakening, some more advanced spiritual concepts, I really encourage you to come join our school community called Modern Day Mystics. And in this community, you'll find all sorts of different healers, mentors, people at various stages of their awakening that are all in service of others and will happily guide you through your awakening and help you to find your purpose. Whether you want to find a safe space to talk, or you want to find a path to develop your own healing business, we've created a community specifically for you and has all the resources you need, plus all the people, so that you can find your home. I really encourage you to come and spend time with us. Again, that's school.com/moderndayMystics. You can find all sorts of answers in a really great community of healers. And what you'll ultimately end up doing is you'll be in a community of people who want to help you, that will guide you along the way so that you can help guide others on their awakening. So I hope that this helped you today, and I hope that I'll see you in the school community. Congratulations on your spiritual awakening and your ascension process.